If you've been hearing about Claude Code but haven't tried it yet, or you want to learn more about it, this is the right video for you. I'm going to walk you through what Claude Code is, how to install it, how to use it, and what it can do for you starting today. We are covering installation, the Claude.md file, agent skills, best practices, and how to use Claude Code the right way so you're not just guessing. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to 10x your productivity. Now, I did a separate video on vibe coding full apps and websites with Claude Code. I'll link that in the description, but today we are going deeper into the tool itself. Hey, I'm Beto. I spent years building mobile applications at Walmart, then at Expo as a developer success engineer, where I helped thousands of developers build production applications. And now I run Code with Beto, where I help people build and launch mobile applications using AI tools like Claude Code. If that sounds like your thing, make sure to subscribe, check out my free weekly newsletter in the description, and let's dive into it. Alright, so here I have the Claude Code documentation, and I want to start with a brief description of what is Claude Code. At a high level overview, Claude Code is an agentic coding tool. It excels at coding, but actually you can do more than that. You can create files, organize, update, move things around, run commands, and of course code, create pull requests, vibe code applications, and so much more, honestly. Now, Claude Code, it's actually a terminal application, also known as CLI, command line interface. That means that you need a terminal to run Claude Code. In case this is the first time that you are hearing about a terminal, actually your computer comes with a terminal. If you're using a Mac, just search for terminal and hit enter. This is the regular terminal that comes with your computer. You should be able to see it something like this. If you're using Windows, it's called PowerShell. Okay, so you can open it. This is the terminal, and this is how you actually install Claude Code in the terminal, by running the following command. You can pause the video and copy this command, or just go directly to this link, copy it, then go back to your terminal, paste it in here, and this command will install Claude on your computer. That's basically all you need to do. Now, another important thing to notice here is that you can use Claude through a terminal like the default one that comes with your computer, or you can also use it with a different tool like VS Code. We have here the terminal, but you can also use it with VS Code, or you can also use the desktop application. I have it as well, but personally, I like to use Claude Code through the terminal. And it's also very versatile because you can use, once you install Claude, like we just did right now, here it is. This is the success message just by running the command. This means that I can run Claude now in my computer and it's going to work. But the thing is that when you install things like VS Code, you can just search for VS Code. This is the website, download it for Mac, open it. It's basically a program that it's built for coding tasks. But also you can do more things apart from just coding. You can view files, you can edit files. So it's definitely the way I like to use Claude. So go ahead and download VS Code. I think you're going to have a better experience if this is your first time. So once you download VS Code and also install Claude like this, you can now open VS Code. So this is how VS Code looks like. It's just a program. You can see we have a bunch of settings here on the left, and you can open things like the terminal inside VS Code. So it comes with a terminal inside of it. You can also open, by the way, the agentic tools here on the right. So this is actually a program built for coding and do things with AI. Now, that it's using, by the way, codecs and other tools that come with VS Code, but we're not going to be using these for now. I want to focus on Claude Code, right? So we just installed it. If we go back to the terminal, the installation was completed. Now, I want to actually authenticate just to make sure that we are good to use Claude. So after you run this command, you can just run Claude in your terminal like this, hit enter, and then you need to grant access to your computer. Just hit enter. That is Claude, okay? Now, the first thing that you need to do is actually authenticate. So you can run commands like /login. So these are commands, by the way. As soon as you type /, you'll see all the things that you can do with Claude, which is a lot. The one that you want right now is login. So hit enter and then select the way of authentication. Okay, so I got a little error, but after you approve your session, you should be authenticated. Now I'm actually going to close the terminal and let's go back to VS Code. Let's try to use VS Code, right? So VS Code allows you to open folders and position yourself in any directory that you want. So for example, on the left, I can just press open folder and I want to actually open a special folder that is created when we install Claude. Okay, so I'm going to press in my Mac Command Shift dot, I think that's a shortcut to show hidden files. So as soon as I press that, you can see that we now have more options here. And the folder that I want to open is called .Claude. So this folder was created when we installed Claude. Let's go ahead and open it in VS Code by pressing open. And now we are inside this workspace. So on the left, you'll find some files and folders that are created by Claude, or you can even create some files here, and we're going to learn how to do that once we learn about skills. But just know that this is a workspace where Claude does stuff, okay? So let's go ahead and open a new terminal by pressing this little icon. This will open a terminal, or you can also go to the toolbar and then press terminal, new terminal. Once you are here, you'll notice that now we are in this workspace. It says .Claude. So I can run Claude inside this folder. You can actually run Claude anywhere inside any folder, but I recommend that you run Claude in the folder that you are working on. So the main thing to understand here is that Claude is actually not a chatbot. It's an agent that can do things on your computer. For example, let's ask something to Claude like, hey, can you create a file for my to-do? Today I want to focus on making a video, and hit enter. So it can do things for you. Let's see what it does. It's going to create a to-do.markdown file. Yeah, that looks okay to me. Let's accept that. And funny enough, it didn't create it in the current working directory. Instead, it is inside my folder Beto. So I can actually click on here by pressing Command click. And then let me make this a bit smaller. Now I can see here the to-do that it created for today. So it gave me the to-do list. This is amazing. I didn't have to do this. Claude created the file for me. But you can do more than that. This is just a very simple example. Let me close that. I'm going to bring the terminal again. You can start using shortcuts, by the way. With VS Code, you can use Command J to toggle the terminal. Okay. So now I'm going to ask it, you know what? Please remove it. You can also remove files. Let's accept the changes. And the file has been removed. You can also find files. For example, I can ask Claude, hey, can you tell me where is my script for toggling my lights? I can't find it. I think actually this is in my folders. So in my documents folder, I'm gonna need to provide permissions. Let's see if we can find it. And it found it. We have some scripts to turn on my lights on and off. So it's telling me they are here. So you can, that's a beauty of Claude Code. Instead of running commands and me doing manual things, I can just ask Claude to do it. Now I'm gonna say, can you open the folder in VS Code? Hit enter. Now it's going to open an application for me. Let's accept that. Now we are inside my scripts, right? Let me make this a bit bigger so that you can see. So done. Now we are in VS Code, but a different window. Let's create a new instance of Claude here just to show you. I'm going to open the terminal by pressing Command J. And then let's run Claude again. You can have multiple instances running. Then I can ask things like, can you explain these scripts in short terms? And now it's explaining to me, okay, so this is a script that controls the Amaran Studio lights, my lights that you can see here. So let's try something cool. I'm gonna ask Claude to turn them off. Turn the lights off using the script, please. Don't forget to say please. And by the way, this script was created by Claude. Ooh, and he did it. So how cool is that? Please turn them on so that people can see me. Let's run the commands. And my lights are working again. And by the way, in case you want to build an application with Claude, check out my book. It's called From Idea to App Store with Claude Code. It's a book that I'm writing basically for my friends and family that always come to me and ask me if I can build their application. But nowadays, you can actually do it with Claude Code, but you need to still have a skill, right? It's not about prompting, it's about having the skill and the fundamentals and the mental model, knowing how to create an app from scratch, how to prompt effectively, how to deploy it to the App Store or Play Store, and how to iterate on your idea. So in case you want to learn more about building apps with Claude Code, make sure to check it out. No coding required, so if you're not technical, you just need to learn how to prompt and the mental model of how creating and iterating on an app really works. Link in the description. And now I want to talk about something super important, and it's the Claude.md file. As you notice, I already have a Claude.md file here on the left. And if I click on it, so the Claude.md file basically adds persistent context to Claude that Claude can see on each session, right? So if we go back, as you keep working with Claude, you'll find that you sometimes need to provide context about either you, either your brand, or the thing that you are doing. So in my case, what I do in my Claude.md file is that I wrote context about me, because I'm always asking Claude to, I don't know, tell me some ideas to create videos about my products, the content that we do. So Claude always needs to know my name, my brand, my products, my previous roles, right? I was working at Expo, I was working at Walmart. Now I do Code with Beto full time. These things, it's kind of annoying having to copy paste it or explain it to Claude every time that I ask for some ideas for content, right? Or things like that. So in here, I put everything like my courses, my books, my premium GitHub projects that you can access in your organization. Everything Claude already knows. So when I ask something like, hey, what product should I talk about in this video? It's gonna tell me, oh, you should plug this product, or you should talk about your book. Now, something important to notice here is that this is the root Claude.md file. So no matter where I am in my folders or each session in my computer, Claude is going to know about this Claude.md file. Now that said, you can also create a Claude.md file scoped to the current working directory. The analogy that you'll find on the internet is that the Claude.md file is like the onboarding for a new member. So if I were to hire someone, I have to explain what products we have, what's my brand name, what do we stand for, okay? All that, put it in your Claude.md. And by the way, I share tips like this in my weekly newsletter. It's totally free. You can find the link in the description in case you want to check it out. If you take a look here at my folder on the left, I have a bunch of skills. This is a folder called skills. And just to show you a quick example, I have a jokes creator skill. This is how a skill looks like. It's just a markdown file that it's named skill, uppercase. You need to write it like this. And then each skill needs a name and description and what it does, right? So skills are markdown files. It's just text that explains or provides context to Claude on how to achieve a specific task, especially a repetitive task. I actually created a full video explaining how to use and how to create agent skills. I'm gonna link that below in case you want to learn more. So for example, let's open Claude. I'm gonna open my terminal by pressing Command J, and let's start a new Claude session here. Now, since this is a skill, it's called jokes creator. You can do /jokes creator like that and just hit enter. And then Claude is gonna load that skill directly. So as you can see, it says here are some fresh programming jokes for you. So you can call the skill directly by doing / and then the name of the skill, or you can just, let's kill this by pressing Ctrl+C. I'm gonna say clear. Clear is a command to clear the terminal. And then let's just start Claude fresh. You can call like, you know, the skill directly, jokes, or you can say things like, tell me a joke. And without me doing anything, it's going to load the skill successfully, as you can see here. And this is because I already have the skill here. So at its core, this is a skill. And you can create a skill by just creating a folder that looks like this, creating a file called skill.md. Let me show you. I'm going to create a skill, simple email reply. Let's call it like that. The folder, it's the actual name of the skill. But then you need to create a new file inside of it. It needs to be called skill.md. And then inside this file, you need to have this metadata, the name of the skill, and the description. The name of the skill needs to be actually the same as the folder. Let's paste this in here. And then you need to describe what this skill is for and when to use it, right? Now the description needs to be short because the description is going to be loaded in the context window of Claude. So every time that we load Claude, Claude is going to load all the description of all the skills that you have here. In case you prompt something that is related to the skill, then Claude is actually going to load the rest to the context window and then use that for the output. Actually, VS Code is suggesting this by pressing tab. I can accept this. VS Code comes with AI stuff and things like these are very useful. So this is the actual skill. This is where you tell Claude what to do. When writing an email replies, always make them simple, concise, using Beto's tone. Avoid complex language, stuff like that. And then you can do things like always end the email with, best regards, Beto. And that's my skill. Now I can open Claude. By the way, you can open Claude here by pressing this button. But if you don't see this button, that means that you need to go to the extensions tab here and search for Claude Code. This is like a marketplace of extensions that you can install in VS Code in case this is the first time. And you'll find an install button here. Once you install it, you should be able to see it here. So let's go back to the Explorer. Let's, you can open directly here Claude if you want. And now if I do slash, I should be able to see simple email reply, okay? So you can do things like simple email reply, and then write an email saying hi to John and hit enter. So if you like this UI, you can use it. Personally, I prefer to just open a new terminal like this. And here we have it, okay? So it did it. Hey John, and it ended the email as I like it. This is very useful, especially for repetitive tasks. I don't want to be prompting Claude, you know, oh, please end this email with best regards, Beto, each time. So, as you notice, this is a very simple example, so I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it. If you don't like your skill, just remove it. I'm actually gonna remove this as well. Now I'm gonna show you something more complex because skills can be simple like that, but also can be super complex. So for example, I have a skill called YouTube metadata, and the skill markdown file, it's in here, and it helps me generate metadata based on the captions of my videos. And this is a very long skill, super well written, that I didn't create myself. It was created using Claude, using a skill creator. Where is this? Here, skill creator. So just wanna quickly mention that skills a complex real skill is going to look like this, okay? And then you can also add references. For example, when Claude is using this skill, it's going to reference how I like to write a post, right? For my new videos. So for example, hey, just dropped a new video. This is an example. And link, check it out. It's also going to have some brand corrections. So for example, when I generate my captions, sometimes we have typos, and Claude is going to detect those. So for common mistakes, I have more context here, and then Claude is going to use these references to write better YouTube metadata. So these are custom skills, but there's more. You can actually install skills available publicly, and Anthropic actually has some pretty cool skills. I'm gonna link this down here, but basically you can go to my website and check out my blog. I have a bunch of resources here, but just search for skills. I'm gonna leave the link directly to this skills blog. Make it a bit bigger. The one that I want to share with you, it's called Skill Creator, and this is from the Anthropic team. This is one of my favorite skills because it allows you to create skills. So let's copy this command. You can install it by running this command. Might be a bit hard to see, but you can copy here. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Then go back to your VS Code instance or wherever you want it. Then open a new terminal. So right now Claude is running here, but you can actually press this plus button to open a new terminal. And now we have two, okay? And in this one, I'm going to run this command, npx skills add, and then just run it directly. But before you run it, by the way, you need to make sure that you have installed Node.js. So if you go to Node.js website, this one right here, it's nodejs.org. You can click Get Node and download the macOS installer. Basically, this allows your computer to run JavaScript. And when we run this command, let's go back to VS Code. This command actually needs to have Node installed in your computer. So make sure to install Node and then run this command. And what this is basically doing is just running a tool that will fetch the skill creator skill and download it and copy it into your project. So right now I'm setting this for Claude Code, but you can actually use skills with other agents like Codex, OpenClaw, stuff like that. Just select, hit enter. How you want to install it? I would recommend project. You can do symlink or copy to all agents. Recommended is symlink, which is basically going to point to the GitHub repo. And then proceed with the installation. I'm gonna say yes and done. Now we have it inside Claude, agents, skills, skill creator. And yeah, it's here now. Now, you can actually leave it like this. This will allow other agents to see the skill, not only Claude, but if you're just using Claude, you can grab the skill creator folder and move it to your skills folder. So the skill creator, I'm going to remove it and then grab this one and just drag it inside my skills folder. Let's move it. Since I'm using just Claude Code for now I have the skill creator here. And yeah, this is how it looks. So as you notice, this is a pretty complex skill because it comes with assets, it comes with evals, is going to test your skill. So using this skill, it's amazing. I'm actually going to remove this folder. We don't need it anymore. Okay, and now let's close this terminal. You can close it by pressing this little icon here. Okay, now let's ask Claude. Well, actually, at the skill creator here, help me create a skill that will generate a daily note with 3 things to focus per day. The skill will generate a file with within the current working directory using a txt file. So if I just say that to Claude, Claude is going to detect that we have a skill creator skill and it's going to load it, as you can see here. Now, the cool thing about this skill is that Claude is going to ask me more questions. So you can answer the questions like this, okay? Answer these questions, and then Claude is going to create a higher quality skill. So the skill is going to be named Daily Focus. Let's hit enter, and now it's here on the left. So super powerful skill. Definitely, it's my favorite one. Same convention, name, description, generates a daily focus note. So let's give it a try. You can also come here and tweak things around. So I'm gonna ask Claude, yeah, let's do a test. What are your 3 focus items for today? Edit video. Hit enter. You can be more descriptive, of course. Okay, let's say yes. And here we have it. So we should be able to see it here because it's in the working directory. You can specify a specific folder if you want, but just for this quick example, I decided to use the current working directory, and now here I have my notes. The cool thing about this skill is that I don't have to tell Claude, help me write a note with 3 items, okay? And instead, we just write it once, and now we can prompt things like, let's create my note quickly, boom, enter. It's going to load the skill, it's going to ask you what do you want to focus today, boom, it's done. That's the magic of skills. If you want to learn more about skills, check out the video in the description, and also check out my 5 favorite Claude skills blog. In my website is going to be in the description. Now I want to show you a real example and how this would look like on a real project. For example, Platano, which is one of our templates that we offer for our pro members, which is, a template for building AI image applications, but it could actually be used for any other type of application that you are building. This template was built specifically for non-technical people, and of course, if you are already experienced with React Native and Expo, you should be able to do anything that you want to do with this application. But basically, this is an application that you can, customize just using skills, and you'll find some skills within this folder. So this is how it looks like on a specific folder, like in this case, Platano. You will find agents in case you are using multiple agents, not only Claude. This is how it looks. And then you also have specific to Claude commands or skills. So for example, this application supports multiple languages. Let me open a terminal and I'm going to create a new one. Let's run Claude within this folder, okay? And I can run commands from here. For example, we have a command to add support for another language, right? So I can just run that command, and then Claude is going to do the code changes necessary to be able to support a new language. So you can select, okay, so which language do you want to support? Right now it comes with Spanish and English by default. But yeah, you can add French. I'm gonna cancel this by pressing escape. You can also run the skill rebrand to make this yours, right? Rebrand, and then it's gonna ask you, okay, let's do it. What's the name of your app? Let's customize it. And Claude basically does everything for you. Like what type of application you want to ship, like hair studio, room design, tattoo preview, and things like that. So in case you are into building mobile apps or just having fun vibe coding, check out Platano. The link is in the description. Definitely will save you a lot of time when creating applications. This template is already ready for production. You just need to rebrand it, implement your idea, and ship it. Those are the basics on how you can start using Claude Code to automate stuff, vibe code, and just do things super fast. If you want to go from idea to App Store, check out my book, link in the description. If you want to keep learning about skills and Claude Code, check out this video. I'll see you there.